Retirement should be something to look forward to, not something to fear. Sadly, millions of Americans can cite several factors that bring them retirement anxiety of sorts. So our retirement coach from Legacy Retirement Group is back with us. Now, Greg and his wife, Kristen, they meet with people every day to help remove the fear factors from retirement. So Greg, of course, is here with some more great advice. And Greg, I know there are things you can control in retirement. There are some things you cannot control. So let's start with one of the pervasive fear factors of retirement, which is the fear of market volatility. How big of a problem is that for people?
It's huge because, everybody remembers right now what happened back in 2008. And they remember that, they would jokingly say my 401k became a 201k, right?
Yeah.
I lost nearly half of everything that I'd saved. But if you were 10 years out or 15 years out from retirement, not a big deal. Just keep investing and just ride it out. It'll come back, and that is true. But you're only one market cycle away from losing, in many cases, 30, 40, 50% of your life savings. And that's not a very fun place to be when you're looking at spending the rest of your life and needing to draw perhaps income from that. So having the right plan of action, I call it having a retirement investment strategy. So where you know where your floor is, you know how far you can drop if the market goes crazy, where and a lot of people say, well, Greg, I just want to take everything out of the stock market.
Right, they have an extreme fear of it, yeah.
Slow down for a moment. You need to be a part of all the worlds of money. So you need some money in the bank. I call that our sleep well at night money.
Mm-hmm.
We use highly rated insurance companies to provide income guarantees. And then we use Wall Street over time to help us keep pace and outpace inflation.
Right.
So you need that element, but you just need to have the right strategy so that you have the confidence you're not going to run out. So that is a big, big, big one. And people just need to understand what they can do now that's different than when they were working.
Okay, so the plan removes the fear.
It does. It really does.
All right, so another one of those retirement fear factors is the fear of one's own declining health. We've talked about this big concern, the thought of long-term health care. It really can almost paralyze people because we know how extreme those costs are.
They really are extreme, and you figure between $200 and $300 a day, depends on whether it's assisted living or skilled nursing care, whether it's any of the types of care that's provided. And people are wondering, am I going to spend down all of my assets? And then if you're married, does your spouse at home end up with not very much to live on the rest of their days because of all the health care costs? And not even considering long-term care, just think about traditional health care.
Sure.
The costs of premiums, the cost of prescription drugs, for eye care, for dental, all those things. Typically, a family is going to spend between $150,000 and $200,000 during their lifetime on health care. They really need to account for that.
So how is it that you help people kind of qualm their fears about that? Are there long-term plans they can deal with when it comes to insurance for these things?
Yes, and we have someone we've worked with since 1994 that deals specifically with Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage plans, long-term health care insurance, those kind of things that can help people. And even if they don't necessarily want to pay for long-term care insurance or they don't qualify because of health, we have other strategies that we use to put in place so that they're not worried about losing everything. And the bottom line is this: if you have a plan that shows you where you're not going to spend down all your assets, now you feel more confident that even if it does happen, that you're not going to be devastated.
And the same could be said for people being nervous too about their spouse's declining health. I mean, that's all involved in this plan, right?
It really is. I mean, just last Thursday I had a couple in and he's getting ready to turn 92. And, you could feel the uncertainties there.
Yeah.
And you start to lose a little bit of control and you start to give up some of your independence. And even if you haven't lost everything financially, now emotionally, it starts to take its toll.
All right, Greg, they also have a fear of outliving their savings. And I want to talk before we run out of time about the fact that all of these can be addressed in your book. And you have a great offer for people today.
Well, we do, and I took all the many years of my experience, I put it into a book called Winning Retirement, and it goes over the 5 core areas of fear that a lot of families deal with, and I just want to get that in people's hands so they can learn it, understand what they can do better, And then if they read the book, they'd like to come and visit with us, we'd be more than happy to sit down and help create a plan that would really, I think, conquer most of those fears.
All right, Greg, free copy to the first 10 callers. That number was up on screen. Thank you, as always, for being here.
Well, you're welcome.